Hey everyone, welcome back to the Inland Empire Coaches Talk. Today I am with the head football coach at Citrus Hill, Jason. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So tell the folks at home a little bit about you, your program, and how you came to Citrus Hill.
Well, I've been a head coach since 2009. Started over at Rubidoux High School, my alma mater. I was a teacher in that district since 2002, so a pretty long time, and got my first break to be a head coach at my alma mater. Had a great time. Had a great run. Was there from 2009 to, I want to say 2014 was my last year. Took 2015 off. Not really needed a break. Just my daughter moved out of state, so I just kind of wanted to spend some time with her. That 1 year before she took off. So took a year off and just got refreshed, and then kind of took over a private school gig called Carnegie Schools, and it used to be formerly Riverside Christian, and I was still teaching in the Harupa district. So I was there for 2 years. Thought it was a good little setup, and it kind of all came crashing down with the school, and the school actually ended up folding. It was a big old ordeal, and a lot of players and coaches obviously ended up leaving. Found myself in 2018 as an assistant coach at Riverside Notre Dame. Kind of another ordeal, myself and some coaches at Carnegie, and I'd say about 22 players transferred over to Notre Dame. So you can imagine how that was a big fiasco for the off season and getting everyone cleared. And so I did that and had some good success there. And kind of my daughter went to Notre Dame too, so I kind of was thinking about just finishing off one more year, before she graduated. But then I got a call by the guy by the name of Rich Shear, who's the athletic director at Citrus Hill, great guy, who's now the guy in charge of he's assistant commissioner at CIF in charge of football. And he just kind of reached out and, just asked if I thought about maybe applying for the job, and sat down with him and met with him and just loved the plan that he had, loved, just the culture at Citrus Hill. And obviously you're stepping into a big program with great success. Of what Doug Dubois and Eric Zolmalt did over there was just amazing. So, I kind of had my hands in smaller programs and kind of more build-up programs, and so I just wanted to take a shot at a program that was already established and, give it a shot, see what we can do with it,
Awesome. I always love hearing coaches and how their journey has gone, because everyone has different ways of looking at it. I've had people that have gone across this country, people that went and chomped at the bit for that brass ring, but then now have come closer to home. So everyone has a different story.
Right.
But I think that's also very cumulative of all of us as coaches and how our different styles. You can have someone who's a spread guy, you can have someone who's a run guy, someone who always wants defense first, but there's no wrong way of doing it. It's just the journey.
Right, it is.
So talk a little bit about your coaching style that you've brought to Citrus Hill.
A lot of it has to do with my mentor and my old former coach, Wayne Cochran, and it's built on the 3 C's, even though I've added one. But, commitment, courage, and class is something that we always talk about, and that's what I live by. And I was taught, through football, and that's kind of what's motivated me to become a head coach, So I've added the 4C, which is compete, and, so just kind of have my own twist to it, but definitely keep to the foundation of Coach Cochran and what he's, taught me and many players from Rubidoux and Mater Dei and Notre Dame and wherever he's coached at. So, that's the background. For Citrus Hill, like I said, the program's already established. When I got there, you just have your own flavor, and so going into, the 2019 season and being hired, you don't want to change the winning culture, but you have your own flavor of what you want to do. And obviously we went from a run-heavy offense to a more of a spread out and want to throw the ball and this and that. And some of it went good, and we just didn't end the right way. But there was a lot of things that we wanted to do this coming off season to really get ready for the 2020 season, and just build that, your identity of what you want your program to be.
Ride that wave.
Yeah, and nothing again. I mean, obviously, what Doug did and what Eric did is just amazing, and nothing wrong, But every coach has their own style and their own philosophy. So we really wanted to dig into that this off season, but obviously we haven't been able to. We had 2 Monday night practices in March. The first 2 Mondays in March, we got together and we started kind of building some of that stuff, but March 12th hit and we're shut down, and so we try to meet with the kids as much as we can with workouts and Zoom meetings, but there's only so much you can do, so we just can't wait to get back to, the normal part of it and be with the kids every day and in the classroom and just start, getting back at the football part of it,
I can give a hearty amen to that.
Right.
Talking to Rich Lunsford over at Rev, he took over Kurt Brooks' shoes, and talk a little bit about taking over those shoes. And were there pitfalls that you weren't expecting, certain things that you thought were going to go wrong that really didn't?
And then that's funny you bring up Rich, because I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, we need to sit down and I just need to pick your brain a little bit. Because like I said, I've always come in, my first 2 head coaching jobs were more of just, hey, we got to build from the ground up. I mean, it was so bad, know. I mean, so, it was like, hey, there was only one way to go. Well, I took over Citrus and he did the same thing. It's like they're already on top. They've been there. They're champions. They know how to win and this and that. And so that's the exciting part, But then as you get in there, and I didn't really get to sit down with Rich yet, which I still plan on for sure doing. But they, especially the kids, and it's no fault to the kids. They're set that, they're used to a certain way. They're, and you go in and try to, put your own flavor in it and change a little bit of it. And there's doubt. There's why are we doing it this way now? And again, we talked about in the beginning, there's no really wrong way of doing it. It's just,
getting that buy-in,
right,
and getting your guys that you didn't
right
groom them the way that Eric did before you.
Yeah, and we had a big senior class, and the senior class was amazing, but they definitely were set in their ways, and so there was always that, it's just something little like, pregame, we had a structured pregame and team meal and team meetings and walkthroughs, and in the beginning, we were kind of sitting guys and suspending guys in the very beginning for missing it or being late, and guys are looking at it like, well, what's the big deal, and so that's because that's what, I've always been a part of and everything, and like I said, it's just no fault to them. They've been so used to doing it a certain way, So that's why I thought this off season was huge for us, going to we just build on that and. And continue to build on the structure and the culture that we wanted to start. But like I said, we just haven't been able to do that as much as we wanted to.
Absolutely. I mean, when March 13th hit, and then I think everyone knows where they basically were when you're getting that phone call, and you're like, oh. I know, my brain and pretty much all my coaches, they're all, okay, we're going to go plan A, B, C, D. Mm-hmm. And now we're landing on plan W, X, maybe yes. Z. So how have you tried to connect and stay connected to your players through this pandemic so far?
So we did a lot of, in the beginning, Zoom meetings as far as, just stuff on Huddle and basically going through our playbook and film review and all that stuff in the very beginning. Then in the summertime, we kind of tried to structure it as much as it would be for a summer football program. We took our dead period, then we came back to, hopefully the plan was going to start practice July 7th,
mm-hmm.
So we were kind of building up to that. So I think we got together the last week of June. So we had 2 weeks, the last week of June, first week of July, of just Zoom workouts as a team, just to kind of get them body, moving and kind of conditioned a little bit in anticipation that we were going to be on the field together July 7th, Mm-hmm. Obviously that didn't happen. So we extended it 2 more weeks up until July 20th because I wanted to see what CIF was going to say. At that point, you kind of had an idea of what was going to be announced, but you were still kind of holding hope that something could
mm-hmm.
happen. So we did about 2 more weeks of Zoom workouts, and once July 20th came and CIF said they're going to push it to the winter, we shut it down, up until this week when school started. And now I got the kids 2 days a week during sixth period because we're on block schedule now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just doing workouts again. And then I got 2 days after school for the guys that want to get more workout in, or guys that I don't have in sixth period.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm able to see all of them, whether you're in sixth period or not. We're getting in a couple workouts, and then obviously they got to do workouts on their own at home.
Yeah. It's always fun to me because just being a guy who likes to work out and having a full gym in my garage, not everyone has that luxury.
Right.
So how are you guys trying to structure? Are you guys having one or two different workouts? Do you have mostly based on a hotel workout where you can work in a 10x10 box with no weights?
Right. So I got to give credit to our athletic trainer, Miss Calhoun. She's awesome. And so when March 12th hit, we got together as a staff. And it's like, what can we do? Put together. And she put together this at-home workout manual that is just amazing. It goes down to nutrition, what you should be eating, rest, workouts, upper body, lower body, stretching, core, all that stuff. And she's got pictures of movements and everything. So we base a lot of stuff off of that. But everything is body weight. I tell the guys, if you can fill up whatever you can in your backpack, if you can take some, empty water, 1 gallon jugs, milk jugs and fill them up with water, or if you got dumbbells, do that, So we have a combination. I even had guys, curling and pressing propane tanks, at home. So it's really whatever you can get your hands on, but we have it structured to where, like, if you don't have the equipment, you can still get a good workout in just using body weight in there. So, it's just the typical, kind of at home in the hotel room workouts. Nothing big where you need a big space right now. We definitely want to open it up to where we're doing a little bit more plyometric movement if possible, but we'll see how that works out.
Absolutely. So now talk to me, hopefully sooner rather than later, you can get the boys back on the field.
Right.
So obviously everyone's going to be in different physical shape.
Yeah.
And you need to get everyone at the tip of the mountain at the same time. So are you breaking people up so the people that had workouts or had full-on gyms at home, they're more in like one group together, or versus the ones that, okay, you can tell they did the structured workouts at home with as limited resources. Then you can tell the kids, you're like, yeah, you've been playing Madden. You haven't been working out.
Right.
Like, are you parsing them out that way, or are you still keeping them as special teams, offense, defense?
No, we'll definitely. Well, and so I since day one, I take roll every day as far as who's showing up and who's not able to get to the workouts and stuff. So, you have a good idea of who's been working out and who hasn't. But I did spend a day with Matt Bechtel over at Damien High School, just because when I right around July 7th that time, I saw that he on social media that they were already practicing. So I reached out to him and I was like, Coach, can I just come by and just watch? I definitely wanted my football fix, but I just wanted to just see some guys out on the field, and so I'm going there and thinking like, man, I'm going to start seeing some play, just a big team organized practice. And so I sat down with the coach, and it's far from that. And so when we first start like phase 1, we got to go, groups of no more than 10. We got to space out. We got to do it the right way if we want to be able to, get things going and start off on the right foot. So it's going to give everyone, whether you've been busting your butt, since March, or you've been sitting down on Madden, we definitely need to ease these guys into it, because we don't want, running full speed plays day one and then a kid, pulls a hammy or breaks something, he's out, So we got to definitely ease everyone back into it, regardless of what you've been doing.
Absolutely. You've talked about how you're structuring the practices differently. Are you also accounting for the weather during November, December, comparatively to what you'd be normally doing in July?
I'm a little excited because as I was driving over here, I'm like, man, we'd probably be practicing right now, and it's like 110, and so I don't mind a little bit colder weather. I did tell some of the coaches, hey, instead of polos this year, I'm probably just going to get you hoodies, for the game and everything. But I haven't thought too much as far as the times and weather and all that stuff. I just know it's going to be a little bit colder, and so it's going to be interesting. So we'll be ready. We did. my staff, along with Coach Burns and a couple of his staff guys on the Linfield staff, we coached in one of the Riverside All-Star games, in January. So it was, it was kind of a cool, gives us a idea, from this past year of what the weather is going to be like. So we'll be ready to go.
Excellent. So now we're looking at the culture in the community that you guys have tried to create. How was the reception coming into Citrus Hill? Because obviously Eric has been known. He played at UCLA, played in the NFL. How is that reception coming? Because I know talking to Rich, we talked probably a good hour and a half off air on just that particular subject.
Yeah. No, I'm fortunate. I love Citrus, and Citrus has been great. You've worked in a district, for, I was in the Harupa district at Rubidoux like over 19 years, and you're kind of in that spot and you're just used to your daily routine, and, so, I had to make that decision. Do I want to change, and do I want to start new and fresh? And I'm blessed, and I'm very happy that I did make that decision, and as a coach, it was something that I really wanted to take that challenge on. I have so much respect for Doug and Eric and what they did. I want to go in and make them proud and make that program proud. So it's pretty much a good challenge for me personally. And I don't know how many more years I have as a head coach, but I definitely want to give everything I got to the program and the school. And the admin's great. I've been there for, like I said, about a year and a half, because I started in April, of that year I got hired. So I kind of was there a couple months before our first summer. But everything's been great. The community's been great. Kids have been great. Admin is unbelievable. So I mean, we said Rich was the AD that hired me, and then he moved on to CIF, and you can't blame him. Mm-hmm. That's a great opportunity for him. And since then we've had Coach Martinez and Coach Valenzuela, take over as the AD, and it's been great.
Awesome. So now that we're going into season, and everyone's been chomping at the bit, I was talking a little bit earlier how I selfishly, when I was talking to Commissioner Weigel, I was like, can we have stacked so there would be multiple days? Because I would love to stand on the sideline for like 3 or 4 days straight and just hear the stands and feel the community come behind what we've been lacking for a better part of 6 months to almost a year at that point.
Yeah.
So how do you see, or have you felt the wave already from the community when it comes to getting ready for season and then taking that through season?
Well, like I said, the community, the football games there are awesome. Our ASB guy, Mr. Johnson, does an unbelievable job with the kids, the parents, and getting people at the games. So. I said, you add that with the tradition of Citrus Hill football. I can't wait to get back to that. I mean, that's why you do it. And then you hope it doesn't get to the point where we're playing games with no fans. And that would be tough, because that's part of the game. And that's a huge part of our community.
I think that, like, coming from the professional game and working even with colleges and universities, I don't think that serves the purpose of high school athletics, personally.
Right.
I mean, even trying to pump in crowd noise to the MLB games right now, it's still so different than the cathedrals that those guys are used to playing in, but they're also getting paid to do a job.
Yeah.
High school kids are there for their friends, for their community, for their family.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if that was the case, I would be personally devastated.
Right. Because
of what that would create, almost as a microcosm against kids and the whole purpose of athletics.
Right. Oh yeah. I completely agree with that. So it would be definitely just tough to walk into that stadium and get ready to play a game and no one there to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a weird. But I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff going on right now. So
our weird capacity is about up to here.
Yeah, you got to be prepared for anything. So
absolutely. So talking about weird, how about the stacked schedule that we're trying to figure out? Because we have a 3 seasons now down to 2.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out fields and trying to make sure everyone's safe. while also stacking officials, transportation. How are you guys working through that?
Well, that's the job of our great AD, Coach Valenzuela, who just got the job over the summertime. So he walked into a great situation, and so I talk to him every day, and it's like, man, what a year to do it,
Mm-hmm. I was with the CBL athletic directors when they all sat down to start scheduling. I was like, I'm going to buy you all lunch and just bring it to you guys, because the Herculean effort that you're going to try to figure out in order to make this Jenga puzzle work is going to be nuts.
I felt pretty good with our football schedule, when everything moved over. It moved right over. We didn't have to worry about anything, for the exception of we had a week 0 game that luckily both us and Colony had the same bye week, so we just moved it down. And that was the only change that we needed to make, So I'm glad I haven't caused Drew very much pain and headaches and issues at all. But, obviously it's the other sports that, again, are going to be playing during the week, and on the weekends. And I think I was talking to him last week, and he was saying, once the schedule starts, he's got I think 3 Mondays off, and that's it. Everything else is just stacked straight through, through Saturdays. So
I was talking to Wygod about how are we even going to stack officials.
Oh yeah.
So you're going to have an official that goes and works a baseball game, but then also make sure that assigner talks to the other assigner, so then he can go work the same basketball game.
Right.
So then that way you don't have one at Citrus Hill, and then all of a sudden he has to try to get over to North by 7 when the game, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. So, but hey, the good thing is we got the date set. We're preparing for the season, and we'll just like the whole distance learning thing. As we'll there's going to be some bumps along, but we're definitely going to try to do this in the best interest of the kids and getting them to play out, play their sports and experience a high school atmosphere, season, school that they deserve,
Yeah, and I've loved watching the adaptation and the way people have evolved to try to create spirit.
Right.
Whether it's through ASB on Instagram or on Twitter, trying to bring people together, like the way that people are adapting right now. I hope a lot of it does change, but I also hope that a lot of it stays to keep that spirit running through almost every vehicle that we have.
Right.
Because now people are getting more creative than how we used to be, where it's like, okay, you're going to have homecoming. Okay, you're going to have prom. Like, you're only going to have these set times.
Yeah. And I think that, this whole experience is, you can take it 2 ways. You can be, upset and depressed about what's going on, or you can get out of your comfort zone and learn different ways about doing stuff, And so that's what I think our school's done a great job with is they're doing everything that they can to adapt and find new ways to be there for the kids and create that school atmosphere. And, we had a big staff meeting today, and it's just, it's great to see everyone together and there for the kids and trying to kind of just keep it going as much as we can and finding ways to make sure, we're going to keep it going for the kids.
Absolutely. So last question, it's always the same for everybody. If you could give one word or phrase of hope to your kids, to the parents, the boosters, the community right now, moving forward, what would it be?
It's a good question. It's a very good question.
I always leave it for the last one for
the big thing is, I think the greatest thing that, and it's football. I talked about our philosophy and what I've learned from Coach Cochran and kind of what's just kind of motivated me as a coach and kind of got me through a lot of life things. It's really just be okay in uncomfortable situations, and learn to adapt and learn new ways to still do what you want to do and be successful at it, and that's, it's so easy in this time right now to just be, just down in the dumps and upset about how things are going. And, it's easy to be that way. And I've seen a lot of people like that, and if you can overcome what's going on right now, and find a way to still be successful, then, I don't think anything in your future is or you're not going to have an issue, with other problems that you're going to face in the future. Because I think this is probably, obviously, in my lifetime, the hardest thing that, hardest time that we've ever been through, and everyone's looking at each other like, wow, what's going on? And it's so weird, and they don't, and as long as we can come together and, stay positive and find ways to overcome it, you'll be just fine.
Absolutely. I remember posting, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, a quote that my grandfather would always tell me, which is, hard times can either break some men and help some men break records.
Right, there you go.
And it all just depends on the way that you look at it.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right on that. So I keep telling my guys all the time is we still got, we have no excuses. We got to find a way every day to continue to get better, and that's it. If you're not doing that, then, whenever we do get the green light to get out there, don't complain when things don't go your way, because you've had all this time to get yourself ready, and if you're not doing it, then things aren't going to go the way you plan for them or want to, so don't have the excuse when you come back, oh, we didn't have this time, or I didn't have enough time to prepare, or I didn't, no, you got all this time right now, let's get ready.
Absolutely. Jason, thank you for being on the program.
Thank you so much.
Anybody who'd like to be on the program, please reach out. Past that, be safe. God bless. Thank you.